When loading the film from your foiling machine, you need to take off the bar. You need to take off the lug nut and spring, unscrewing it, taking all of the little pieces off. You need a screwdriver. Just loosen that screw off. Take off your core adapter. Then you're going to need to place your foil roll. The foil rolls needs to be facing up, like so. Pop it over the core adapter. Pop your other core adapter on. Tightening the screw and reassembling the core end. These need to be put back on because they will measure the tension for your foil. The mandrel needs to be placed back into the loading mechanism. There's a bit of plastic, as you can see there, that needs to be facing up, and it needs to be completely in, so it's nice and straight. Now that your foil is centered on your mandrel, you can center it also by unscrewing the screws and placing it in the center of the shaft. What we're going to do now is we're going to thread the foil through the machine. So we're going to attach the foil to a piece of cardstock, just using a bit of tape. So making sure that your handle has been lifted here on the side, so the rollers are either open or closed. So that's closed, that's open. So now the rollers are open. We're going to thread our sheet through the machine. Pushing it all the way through the machine, so it will come out here. And we're going to pop it on the re-rolling bar. Now before we do that, I'm just going to show you how the re-rolling bar undoes. So the re-rolling bar on this side here, it's spring loaded. So what we can do, we can pop it in there and it'll pop out the other side. So I'll do that again. So this end here is spring loaded with a little hole. We can just pop it in and then put it in place here. It's under a little bit of pressure, but you shouldn't have any problems at all. Now we're going to attach the end of the foil to the take-up roll. Now, the smoother you can get this, the better it's going to be. So try and keep it nice and balanced. Give it a good little start. And then we have a smooth line from end to end. Okay, now I might as well mention on the side here we have a little clutch. So all that's doing is altering the pressure on our take-up roll. If we tighten it, it'll be driven at the same speed as the motor. If we loosen it a touch, it'll take it up, but just with a little bit less pressure. So you don't want you want enough pressure to be able to take it up, but you don't want too much for it to be pulling it off the sheet. We'll have it set for you anyway. And if you have some troubles, you can always FaceTime us. When you first get the machine, you're going to get the machine with a kettle type of cord. Simply pop it into the supplied hole, turn the power on at the back here. Your control panel is pretty simple to use. You've got, at the moment it's cold, you've got a switch to heat the two front rollers. And you've got a switch to heat all four of your rollers. It really doesn't matter too much with your cardstock. You're not doing anything too heavy duty, so you could use either. I would recommend a running temperature of 100 degrees and definitely as slow as you can go on the speed dial. You can alter that speed a little bit and alter the temperature, but at the moment we've run some of your samples, and definitely run it as slow as you can with a temperature of 100. You've got forward and reverse, so you can, if you ever do get something jammed in there, you can reverse it out. At the moment we're just going to heat it up and wait for that ready light to go green. You also have a measure button so we can see where we're actually at. So that's a set temperature at the moment. If we press measure, we're seeing the actual temperature. You need to wait for that ready light to go green. When you first receive the machine, the trays will not be attached to the machine, so I'll just run through that and show you. So on the ends of the trays, you have one on either side. You have the little bolts sticking out, the little slotted grooves on each end. You're literally just popping the bolt head into the slotted groove and popping the tray down. So that's the intake tray. This is the exit tray. Same thing. Just pop it in, and then you can feed your sheet. Okay, now we have just heated this machine up, so be mindful it will take a few minutes to heat up. It's set at 100 degrees. We're going to measure it. It's 106. Even if it's at about 110, 112, it's not going to be a problem. They're always going to overshoot to allow the stock, to allow for it to cool down when you feed the stock in. So now what we're going to do, we're going to run a few of your sheets. So what you need to do, so make sure your speed controller is on low, and we're just going to pop the rollers down on the side here. So at the moment they're up. We're just going to lock those rollers down, and then we're ready to feed the sheets in. So once you've got your sheet here, we're just going to press forward on this side over here. So the forward button, it's going to start rolling your foil through. Now we can just pop a sheet in it. It'll just start to automatically take it. Now, of course, you can alter the speed while it's running. You can alter the temperature while it's running. And it's as simple as that. We found we were getting the best results on that slow speed. I think it's better to go nice and slow and get them perfect every time. If you have any troubles or issues, feel free to call Katie and we can go through it again. Once you've finished, you need to release the rollers. Now we do this to save the rollers because you can't have a pressured hot roller together. So you always, when you walk away, you must separate the rollers. Now I'm just going to show you quickly changing. At the moment we've got a 3-inch core on this machine. Now this machine can run both a 3-inch and a 1-inch core. So I'll just show you that quickly. So I'm going to slice the film off, Stanley knife. I'm going to lift off the film so it just slots out. I'm going to take off the ends. Unscrew bolt. Pull it off. Okay, so what we can do with these adapters, they have a 1-inch and a 3-inch adapter inside of them. So now we can pop a 1-inch core on there. So now it's the same process. and then it became a 1 inch. Should pop it in the machine. And make sure it's all the way down so it's nice and flat. So for a roll change, we've cut our film off. We've left enough room to be able to reattach it. So you just Stanley knife it, give it a clean edge, and you can always roll your film back a little bit. And then you can just reattach it to the new roll. Get a bit of tape, put it here, and just attach it. And then you won't have to go through the process of attaching the sheet and threading it through again.